Hey fellow murder peeps, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Anthony.
Welcome to Bonding Over Murder, the show where I tell Anthony true crime stories he's never heard of before.
I mean, now we will, now that we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Been a long damn time.
Yeah, it's been a few months, but lots of exciting news. The biggest piece of news is that in the new year, there will be a new addition to the Bonding Over Murder family, because we're having our first baby.
We successfully created a bog standard fetus.
Yay!
Yay!
I don't know what that is. What's a what?
A bog standard fetus?
What's a bog?
I don't know. The British say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know all my British slang, so I'm not privy to that information at this point in time.
Either way, it's got fingers.
And toes.
And toes. It's got some toes.
Yeah, exactly. And today marks the first year anniversary of our very first episode.
Really?
Yeah.
What was our first episode?
H.H. Holmes.
Ah, yes. H.H. Holmes.
With his murder castle in air quotes.
Murder castle. That's right.
His murder apartment building.
We should
fancy
play
mustache.
We should play a little sound bite from that episode. Just a quick one.
Which one?
I don't know. We'll figure one out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mudget.
It's
gonna be Mudget. It's gonna be Mudget. Just so you know. To stare at the human skeleton that he's terrified of.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm just imagining them propping him up with his eyelids glued open, staring at a skeleton while he's just like, "No, skeletons!"
But yeah, so the reason why it took so long is the first trimester was really exhausting for me, so I had energy to literally do nothing except work and sleep.
Yep.
And poor Anthony had to take care of everything else.
Cleaning
House,
and working.
Dog, working, everything.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That was a sexy housewife.
Sexy. Even though you're working full-time?
Yes, a sexy working full-time housewife.
Yeah, there you go.
Excellent.
Very good, sweetie. I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
We'll send in that scene from Wreck-It Ralph where we honor your sacrifice.
History will long revere your courage and sacrifice.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm feeling better now, and I've taken this extra time to revamp a few things. First off is we're in a very own jerry-rigged podcast room that we've made out of dollar store yoga mats.
We're in a studio. We made a studio in our basement.
Yes, out of dollar store yoga mats for soundproofing.
Yes.
So the sound should be better.
We were looking at foam blocks, and we bought 6 of them for $40. And we're like, holy crap, we're going to need a lot of these foam blocks for this room. So then we decided, hey, you can get a yoga mat for $4 at Dollarama. So now we've stapled yoga mats all to the walls.
It's not like I'll post pictures on the Instagram, but
it's classy.
It does the job. That's all I care about. Is it does the job. And then I also am revamping the website. It's not quite finished yet, but you can still check it out. And it's at bondingovermurder.com now. I finally went fancy with the domain name and decided to spend the extra $6 to get the .com.
Big spender. So if you guys want to donate $6 so we can recoup our loss, that would be great.
And then another update is all of our episodes are now on YouTube. Yay! Because that was something that took me forever to get around to doing.
Is the last episode up now?
Yeah, this episode will be up on YouTube as well when this airs.
All right,
so
we're up to date.
We're all caught up. So praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be.
We're not sure who we're praising, but we're praising somebody.
Yeah, me.
Oh, okay. Praise Sarah. Praise Sarah.
Praise Sarah. So for now, we'll be releasing episodes every 2 weeks still, but we'll be taking another hiatus around December 13th will be our last episode while I go on mat leave.
Ah, right on. Yes. And then the next few podcasts after that, you may hear crying in the background. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
We're gonna try to figure that out. It'll be a learning curve for all of us. This whole process has been a learning curve for me, so, you know. Either way, let's get to the main topic, our episode. So today we're going to be talking about Issei Sagawa, a dude in Japan that was obsessed with cannibalism to the point where he killed and ate a woman, then became a celebrity for it.
Oh.
I'm not joking.
All right, Japan is a little strange. But okay.
It wasn't just Japan. He became a celebrity elsewhere, like globally, essentially. Yeah.
As the man
It's just
who
he's from
ate a
Japan.
lady. Fantastic.
Yeah. Either way, let's get into it. Issei Sagawa was born on April 26, 1949 in Kobe, Japan, which is the capital of the Hyogo Prefecture, which is 6 hours and 46 minutes a drive away from Tokyo, or a 3-hour and 21-minute train ride to Tokyo.
Now, we should have had Cam here for this one. What's a prefecture? Is it like a province or a state?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
His father, Akira, was the president of Kurita Water Industries, which is worth 424 million yen, 859 million US, or 895 million Canadian.
Ooh.
So he's president of a very prestigious company at the time.
Right on.
Well, that's their stats today, actually. I Googled it.
Oh, okay.
So that's their current net worth, is those numbers.
But we don't know if they were a wealthy company back in the day.
I'm going to say yes, because the family is wealthy. Yeah, he was born in a wealthy family. His grandfather also worked at one of the most famous newspapers in Asia. So there's decent
What newspaper
education.
is that?
I didn't find that.
Oh.
I don't always find all the information, you know?
Then why you talk about it?
Because it's one of the most famous newspapers in Asia. That's going to make you money.
Okay.
So his grandfather had money, and then his father had money. So it's just a big money family,
Okay.
essentially.
They come from money.
Money. Essentially, and that comes up a fair bit.
Okay.
So
he's a rich cannibal.
yes, he's a rich
Okay.
cannibal.
Right on.
So I'm just going to refer to him by his last name. It's just easier for me. Sagawa was born premature and developed enteritis, which is inflammation of the small intestine, which causes severe diarrhea and dehydration.
Oh. Feel sorry for his mom. Having to change those diapers constantly?
Well, he was in the hospital, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Like, he was born premature, so wouldn't that be,
I don't know. I'm assuming his diarrhea lasted until when he went home.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I didn't think about that.
He'd be in the little incubator for the first little while, sneaking that thing up first.
Poor baby, you know, like...
Yeah. I mean, that baby did grow up to eat someone else's baby at some point, so...
And then made money off of it.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow.
I'm gonna just, like, feel less
Yeah.
bad even though he's a baby at this point in the story.
Yeah, no, it's
Suck
true.
it, evil baby.
I meant just feel bad for babies in general that have to go through
Other
stuff
babies,
like that.
yes. This one baby that becomes a cannibal that we already know of, no.
No, that's fair. So he eventually overcame the illness, but it still made him weak and fragile as a child. Growing up, he was smaller than the other kids, and his mother spoiled him because of, you know, how delicate he was.
Oh, well, there's the mystery solved right there. I think we could just turn the podcast off. He was frail. He needed protein. There you go. Ate a person. Got his protein. Mystery solved.
No. That's just a big old nope. So his father also made sure that he had everything he needed to be successful no matter the cost. So both parents mollycoddled the shit out of him, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. So he did have a younger brother who was not sick, so I'm not sure. Well, we get into him later. When he was young, he would play a game with his father, uncle, and younger brother, where the adults would pretend to be monsters and hunt the children to cook them in a pot. Because,
Oh.
children's story?
Well, there you go. You gotta be careful what stories you tell your kids, I guess. They might take it seriously.
Well, he enjoyed the game and was constantly searching for other fairy tales that involved being eaten by monsters, dragons, and other villains.
Okay, so it kind of turned into a fetish a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. One of his favorite stories was Hansel and Gretel, for obvious reasons. Because, you know, eating of people. Sagawa's earliest cannibalistic urge came at a very early age. And that was in grade 1 when he noticed another boy's thighs in class and wondered how they tasted. He claims he's not homosexual, so... And I'm inclined to believe him based on all of the women chasing he does later.
Oh, no, that's not the funny part. It was more just the...
How do those thighs taste?
Yeah. Oh. Spencer's thighs, man. They just look yummy. You want to hang out at my house tonight, Spencer? No.
Yeah, so that's a Runaway Spencer, even though this is Japan, and there's
yeah.
no one fucking named Spencer.
Spencer gay? I don't know.
Well, we'll just say Hide and be done with it.
We call him Sagawa.
Spencer.
I don't know much about Japanese, but I think I've nailed it.
Sorry to my Japanese listeners. So when he hit puberty, he became increasingly interested in cannibalism and compared it to the desire of, quote, a boy to be on top of a nearby girl.
What?
So his cannibalistic desire is, as he put, it's the same as a boy wanting to have sex with a girl, essentially. But that's just his quote. That's not me saying that. And
Okay.
that's how he said it.
All right.
Is a boy to be on top of a nearby girl.
A nearby... What a way to phrase that.
I know, right? I know. The dude's weird. We're
Yeah.
not even started yet.
My fetish is akin to a man mounting any available nearby proximal female. Should she be in the room at the time? It's very weird.
Yeah. It's a weird...
I mean, a cannibal that's a weird guy? Strange. All right. So what did the weirdo do next?
So Sagawa also claimed that in his youth, he committed bestiality with the family dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do we keep finding these guys? With the bestiality, I guess we're talking about bonding over murder, but surely there could be some classier murderers out there. Just remember-
Harold Shipman?
Hey, remember the cows?
That was Robert Garrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember the cows.
Moo twice for no.
Well, I guess, yeah, I was saying the only classy one, I guess, would be Harold Shipman, because he didn't do any weird shit, and then he just all of a sudden started, like, offing people with heroin.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was episode 3.
Oh, yeah, he was the classier one,
Yeah. So, as far as, like, and he also killed the most people out of everyone that we've ever done.
Well, there you go. That classiness will get you. Anyways. So, he's doing the unspeakable with the family dog.
Yep.
Sorry, Fido.
Or,
Fido Gawa.
That's gonna be offensive to all Japanese people, I think, this episode. Sorry to our Japanese listeners, because I know you're out there. And thank you for listening. In junior high, his interest began revolving around European women, art, literature, and culture. So he started being more interested in Europeans and Western women.
What could go wrong?
For the European and Western women. So he was attracted to European Western women, as I said, and would fantasize about eating them. He quoted his most common fantasy when he was a teenager as a, quote, voyeuristically spying on a well-built Western goddess as she showered, then creep up on her and viciously strangle her from behind with a belt. The idea of throttling a naked woman to death was now a vital component to the illusion. That's it. That's a quote. That's a direct quote from him. We have quite a few direct quotes because he's done a lot of bios.
Oh, right on.
Coincidentally. At some point in his teenage years, he realized that these fantasies were not normal, so at 15 years old, he sought help. He called a psychiatrist to talk over the phone about it, but was told that he'd have to come into the clinic to talk instead.
Okay, I have to respect the guy for that level of self-awareness.
He did try.
That's pretty decent self-awareness, saying, hey, I've got some pretty
he's
fucked
a smart
up
dude.
I got some pretty fucked up urges. Yeah, I know, but like he actually wanted to curb them. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was out of a need to be humanitarian, if he was worried for other people, or if it was more just like this shit's gonna get me in trouble. I don't know. But I respect the inclination to try and fix what's broken. You know what I mean? That's kudos to him for that.
But he was too embarrassed about it, so he never went.
Okay, well, there's where the kudos end. But
I feel like it's one of those things that it kind of reminded me of this documentary I watched about pedophiles, where they have the fantasies about children and they know it's wrong and they want to get help, but then it's such a negative stigma that they feel they can't get help. So that's kind of what I thought of for this one.
No,
because cannibalism is one of those taboo things. So if you're going to talk to your psychiatrist about it in person, they're going to lock you in the fucking loony bin immediately.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, No, they wouldn't lock you in the loony bin, but if you directly threaten someone, then they have to legally act.
Yeah, but these are just fantasies that he's.
So
wanting
as long
help
as
with.
he's no, so he'd actually be able to seek help for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's only 15, and it was like he knew it wasn't normal, and he was scared about it.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't touch too much on the topic because it's a really hot topic.
Oh,
but,
of course, yeah.
But basically, in my opinion, really short and sweet. The more animosity you show to people that have monstrous inclinations, or they're warped in really, really dangerous ways, and they have these really disgusting fetishes, up to and including pedophilia, the more animosity and hatred you show them, the more likely they're going to never seek the help they need, and the worse they're going to get. So,
and the urges are going to keep increasing until they can't take it anymore.
Now, I don't want to sit here and be on the side where I'm defending the pedophiles, because I feel like that's kind of a dangerous side to be on.
Yep.
But yeah, I think in a nutshell, the more understanding you can have for your fellow humans, the better things will be all around, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the more animosity you use against even the worst monsters, the worst offenders, your hate's only going to make them stronger. It's only going to make things worse.
Yeah. Either way, he instead confided in his younger brother about it and told him the fantasies, but obviously, seeing as his brother is younger, wasn't very helpful. So, Sagawa was never interested in kissing or hugging and considered biting your loved one's flesh to be the next step in a relationship as a way to show affection.
Let's get ready to nibble!
I mean, kind of, I guess.
Right on.
When he graduated, Sagawa went on to study humanities at Wako University in Tokyo. I think that's how that's pronounced. I wasn't sure about that one.
Could be Waco. I don't know.
Well, Waco's usually with a C, and I think it's Wako. Either way. While in Tokyo, he spotted a young German woman and started stalking her in 1972 when he was 23.
Okay.
So, I don't really have a lot of dates specifically for this one, so I'm chucking him in there when I have him, essentially.
Run, lady.
So he discovered where she lived and would watch her from the window without her knowing. Eventually, he broke into her apartment while she was sleeping to cut off a piece of her glute and then leave, was
What?
the game plan.
That was the game plan.
That was the game
You're
plan.
going to sneak in and steal a little bit of your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me some of that
some
fine
of it-
booty.
Some accounts said that, no, he went in to kill, but I don't think so.
Just a snippet of butt and run.
He just wanted to know what flesh tasted like. He actually didn't want to, like, he says that he didn't
Couldn't he
want to...
sample his own butt? I mean, surely you start with your own...
That's a good question.
Yeah, you start with your own butt and you work your way up from there.
If you're listening to the Sagawa, you should have tasted your own butt.
Then you could have been like, it's all right. Could be improved with some seasoning. Then you just keep trying on yourself. Should you die in the experiment? Well, at least no one else got hurt.
Fair?
Yeah?
Yeah. So she woke up when he entered her bedroom and she immediately called the police. So Sagawa fled the scene before cops arrived, and the next day he did go to a psychiatrist finally and explained what he did the night before. They felt that he was a danger to society and called the police, and then that's when he was arrested for attempted rape, but since he had no prior criminal history, his father was able to pay off the woman and got the charges dropped.
Oh, no.
Daddy Dearest comes in to save the day a few times.
Fuck. Yeah, you see, like, again... I can at least respect that he's like, hey, this is fucked up. I need to go get some help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand though why they turned him in, because now he has directly...
Now he's committed
He
a
has
crime.
directly
Yeah.
threatened someone, by sneaking into their room.
I'm trying to cut off their butt.
It really sucks that that's where his therapy ends, because he admitted to it, and now the criminal system takes over and utterly fails because he can buy his way out.
Yeah, pretty
So
much. Yep.
That was where his therapy ended.
Yep.
Yeah. Stupid dad.
Well, that's what Daddy pay for my bail.
It sounds like Daddy took his own initiative to pay for the bail. This guy actually went to therapy and actually was trying to get the help he needed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this sounds like Dad's initiative here, because I got to tell you, we are only the parents of a fetus at the moment. But if I ever find out that fetus is trying to eat people, I got to tell you, I'm going to keep up with the therapy lessons, or the therapy sessions, I mean to say.
Yeah, we're not going to either bail them out or go Dexter style and, teach them on how to only kill criminals and eat them.
I mean, that route has some merit to it, though. It really does.
It didn't work out for Dexter.
I mean, he's doing okay. Lumberjack.
No, the new sequel, spoiler alert, he dies. You know, like his son catches him. Like his son, like, you know, as far as I've been told, is his son catches him and then the police, the sheriff in the little lumberjack town shoots Dexter and he dies.
The woodchucks tipped him off, did he?
I don't know. I didn't watch it because it's like you have to pay extra for it on Crave, and I was like, fuck that.
Well, that's not happening.
I'm not paying extra for HBO or Showtime shit. I'll wait until it's free on the streaming services I have. Thank you very much. So in 1977, he moved to France to get his PhD in literature at the Paris Sorbonne University at 28 years old. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher the shit out of the French.
I don't know. It sounded good. If you had it,
that one is good. I'm talking about the later names.
Okay, because that one had some mustard to it. I liked it. It was like Sorbonne.
That's the only one that's going to be pronounced even slightly correct. Yeah. Just
Sorbonne.
saying. Because French has never been one that I've been really good at pronouncing. It's like one of the ones I'm the worst at pronouncing.
Bonjour.
Well, I know how to say that. Every Canadian knows how to say bonjour.
Bonjour.
Because we're forced to learn it in elementary school. When he lived in France, he claims that, quote, almost every night I would bring a prostitute home and then try to shoot them. But for some reason, my fingers froze up and I couldn't pull the trigger. It became less about wanting to eat them, but more of an obsession with the idea that I simply had to carry out this ritual of killing a girl no matter what. That's his quote.
Wow.
Well, he made multiple biographies and shit and novels, so I have lots of quotes for this fuck.
Huh.
Lots of quotes. So while he studied for his PhD, he also became a writer during this time. You know, so making some extra money on the side, writing. So in 1981, at the age of 32, he saw another woman that sparked his interest, Renee Hartevelt, I think is how that's pronounced. She was 25. She was a 25-year-old Dutch student at the time. She spoke 3 languages and was working towards getting her PhD in French literature.
Oh, wow. That's an amazing woman.
Yeah, she was really pretty, too. It's unfortunate. So my heart goes out to the Hartefeld family over having to deal with this shit.
I don't actually know what happened yet, so you didn't tell me.
Well, the celebrity part, remember?
Huh?
I already told you about that he becomes a celebrity.
Yeah, but
so that's the part
I don't know what happens to this Dutch lady. Everything could have turned out fine. What are you dropping spoilers for?
Yeah. Well, we already know he kills her.
No, we don't. I don't know this.
Oh, well, you
Neither does anyone else listening. It's all in your head.
So the two became friends after Sagawa offered to pay for her to teach him German, and she accepted. The other story I heard, so I'm not really sure which one's accurate, but the other story is that he invited a bunch of classmates over for a study group because they were in the same class. And the only one that showed up was, I'm going to call her Renee, just it's easier for her last name. She's the only one that showed up, and they enjoyed some traditional Japanese food together.
Yummy.
So they started spending more time together and discovered they had many common interests. According to Sagawa, she liked his intelligence and that he was able to discuss a wide variety of topics such as Impressionist paintings, Shakespeare, and European literature.
All artsy-fartsy stuff.
All shit neither of us care about whatsoever.
Yeah.
He would find me and you very boring.
Utterly plebeian.
Yes. Yes, 100%. So he wrote her love letters and would take her to concerts and exhibits.
Ooh.
She went with him often and also would invite him to her apartment for tea.
Oh.
So the two were good friends. They even danced together, which added to Sagawa's fantasy.
I mean, sounds like things are starting to get a little more serious.
Yeah.
All that dancing and tea. And Shakespeare.
And Shakespeare.
Don't like this relationship.
Well, as long as like it works for people, it's just you and I are we're very middle class. I'm gonna say in our interests. If anyone watches Frasier, we definitely relate more to Martin Crane over Kelsey Grammer's character, 100%. Yeah. So one day he invited her over for tea and asked her to recite his favorite German poem. So as she recited it, Sagawa stood behind her with his .22 caliber rifle and aimed it at her head, but was unable to pull the trigger. So after she left, he smelled where she sat and licked her utensils, vowing to eat her.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, man, dude's got some serious inhibitions in place, though. It's like, thank goodness. He's had a gun at people quite a few times and just can't do it. It's like, he's kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's really got a good side to him that's like...
he's trying?
Yeah, he's got a good side to him that's like fighting to stay in control.
Yeah.
I mean, he immediately vowed to eat her afterwards, so he's clearly a douche at the same time, but...
From what I've heard, like, there's so much quotes that I couldn't fit all of them in, because, like, there's a whole fucking novel and a video interview from 2011 about this, where he says that he never really actually intended to kill her. He just wanted to eat her, like, eat parts of her. But, I
mean, the gun at the back of her head was pretty lethal intention.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
So either way, the next day on June 11th, 1981, he invited her over again under the pretense that he wanted to record her reciting the same poem.
Okay.
So when she arrived, they sat down for Japanese-style tea, and he spiked her drink with whiskey to make her more agreeable, essentially.
I mean, how do you hide whiskey in the tea?
Maybe you make it in a different room and...
No. When
it's Japanese tea. It's pretty strong.
No. When you drink tea, you know there's whiskey in it.
I don't know.
It's pretty apparent when your tea is alcoholic, especially enough to make you agreeable.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't notice. I don't know.
Okay.
So Sagawa waited for the whiskey to take effect before he confessed that he was in love with her and wanted to take her to bed.
Ah.
Not my words.
And she, having some whiskey and a whole bunch of dancing lessons with former T, was in a fairly agreeable mood, I'm guessing.
No, she rejected him and just wanted to be friends.
Oh, he got friend-zoned.
Oh, yeah. He took this information in calmly and urged her to recite the poem again and hit record. While she read it, he went behind her again and shot her in the back of the neck this time.
Ah, yeah. Nothing like the power of rejection to get you into that murderous rage.
So she died instantly and fell out of her chair. So at first, Sagawa kept talking to her, thinking she was still alive, but when he realized he killed her, he fainted from the shock.
Wow.
Like, he legit passed out because, like, he just was in such shock that he actually killed her.
Yeah. Again, like I said, dude had some serious monsters in his head, because he's like, on one hand, he's acting like anyone else who really doesn't want to do this, and if you found out you murdered someone that you've been hanging out with, like a friend, you'd faint too. So it's like, it's sad, because it looks like he's trying to be a normal guy, but has like this super dark inner side, right? Again, this is also written by him, though, so he might have cast himself in a better light than he actually did.
Well, no, I guess that's fair. Nobody knows that he went unconscious.
Yeah, he might have actually just sat there and gave like some kind of Bowser-like laugh. Wahaha!
Well, I'll tell you exactly what he thought, because I have that quote. I have all the fucking quotes.
Yeah, but from him. From him. It's
I know. Well, I can tell you what he thought.
No, you can tell me what he says he thought. It's sanitized information.
That's true.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's true.
Yeah.
So he stated he regained consciousness and briefly felt remorse, but later said, I thought about calling the ambulance, but then I thought, hang on, don't be stupid. You've been dreaming about this for 32 years, and now it's actually happening. Again, those are his words. So,
right.
You know. So this is a trigger warning if you don't want to hear about horrible mutilation of a corpse. But,
I mean, why are you listening to this podcast at this point?
Well, I just, like, people like to hear about true crime, but not, like, the really gory shit. So it's good to...
All right.
So he then committed necrophilia with her corpse. Afterwards, he tried biting her flesh off with his teeth, specifically her butt. He tried to bite off her butt with his teeth, but had to use a knife because the skin was too hard, apparently. So he started with her glute, then ate her nipple, the tip of her nose, and her glute fat before raping her corpse again.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man. That is awful.
He moved
That
her
poor
body.
girl.
I know. At least she died instantly.
I know,
That's
but
the
I mean,
consolation,
like,
I guess. She died instantly.
I know, but
Yeah.
her family has to live with that. That's no good.
Well, as I
That's
said, my
awful.
heart goes out to her
Yeah,
family,
yeah,
and we're
I
not
hear
even done
that.
yet.
I hear you. That's fucking terrible.
He moved her body to the bathtub and continued to dismember and carve her up. Sagawa ate various parts of her torso, legs, and arms. He cut off muscle and fatty parts to stick them in the freezer for later meals.
Okay.
He ate most of the tissue raw, but also cooked it up in a frying pan with various spices.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I put the trigger warning. He removed 15 pounds or 7 kilograms of her flesh over the next 2 days after her murder. While he ate her remains, he would listen to the recording of her reading the poem. For some reason, he also took pictures at each stage of the crime as well. Those are on the internet if you're curious.
I got nothing. You want me to make a joke about this part? Because I don't know what to say. That's just really gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Fun.
Yep. So on June 13th, 1981, he packed the rest of her remains into 2 suitcases and planned on dumping them in a secluded pond at the Bois de Boulogne Park in Paris. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
I'm sure you did not.
I'm sure I did not. We'll just go based on I probably didn't, but I warned y'all that my French is not good. My pronunciation is garbage.
Un Shandai.
Which one's that again?
I think it means a sweater. It's all I remember.
Un chat.
That was a cat.
Yeah, there you go. Or poisson.
What?
Fish.
Poisson is fish?
Yeah, from what I remember.
Really?
Or our favorite, jus de pomme.
Jus de pomme.
One time, Anthony yelled that out the window, and then there was a dude at the gas station that was like, "What the hell
I
is going
couldn't
on?"
tell you what mood I was in, but we were in the car, and I looked down at my apple juice from Tim Hortons, and it said "Jus de pomme" on it. So I decided to
Yell
announce
that out the window at 11 o'clock
that
at
to
night.
the world.
At 11 o'clock at
Someone
night.
was filling his car and looked over and now has a fun story to tell his friends when he gets home.
And now you all know. Now everyone knows the story. It was a great day. It just reminds me how much I love you.
So he ate a dude, huh?
A lady. But, so apparently the Bois de Boulogne is a park that sees drug dealers, pimps, sex workers, and other criminals on a regular basis.
Oh, it's one of those parks.
Apparently it's a seedy park, is what I was reading. So he called a taxi to take him to the park, and the driver had to help him load the suitcases since they were too heavy. The driver even jokingly asked if they had a dead body in them because they were so heavy.
Nice.
So that's
No.
that's the last time they make that joke.
Not at all. Why do you ask? Yeah.
I can only imagine, when I first read that, I can imagine his face. He probably froze, and he's like, ha, yeah.
I'm thinking more like the cartoon Shifty Eyes.
Yeah, just a little bit. So as he was trying to dump the suitcases in the pond, 2 joggers came by, and he panicked and tossed them into the bushes and fled the scene. So the joggers were suspicious of this behavior for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Some little... Mind you, the dude's only 5 feet.
Really?
He's not a big dude. He's only 5 feet, and, he doesn't weigh that much. So this little tiny dude is just trying to chuck big suitcases into a pond, sees you, and then ditches them in the bushes and then runs away. I'd be interested in knowing what the hell's in those suitcases as well.
Sounds suspicious.
Right? So they called the police immediately when they discovered Renee's remains.
Oh, they opened the suitcase.
They opened the suitcase. I actually saw a picture of the inside of the suitcase, but thankfully it was mostly bags. I only saw bags, which was
All right.
not too bad. But after fleeing the scene, Sagawa knew the police would eventually come for him, so he stayed at home and waited for them.
Okay, but they never ID'd him, so how's...
Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So police were able to connect him to the murder with the help of the taxi driver who remembered who he was and where he lived. Because he's like, yeah, I remember, I think it's a female taxi driver, but person's like, yeah, I remember, I joked about the suitcases and, like having a dead body in there, and I guess they did have a dead body. I don't know. But 5 days later, police arrested and interrogated Sagawa. He confessed immediately, saying, quote, "I killed her and I ate her flesh," and then told them everything.
Oh, so this is like a one and done kind of murder.
Yeah, he only kills one person.
Oh, okay.
But based on what he does to the corpse is like...
It's pretty notorious, yeah.
Prefect. So when police searched his home, they found a meal with cooked human flesh in the kitchen, along with Renee's photo ID. Sagawa was charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah, the smoking gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they found her remains in his fridge.
Yeah, that's a smoking gun. Yeah.
Like they found the rest of her remains in the freezer and the fridge. Like,
man, he's really bad at this. I'm glad he's really bad at this.
I think some people theorize that he was bad on purpose because he knew it was a bad thing and he wanted to, get caught, because he could have ran for it and
I don't know,
fled.
I mean, like I said, I'm dubious that he's as good intentioned as he's making himself sound, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But then on top of that, if what he's writing is true, you can kind of see that all humanity goes out the window once he finally murders her. There was no hesitation to rape her corpse or cut her up and eat her and do a whole bunch of other stuff and then rape her again. So if what he's writing is true, it seems like all inhibitions went out the window once he finally murdered her. But if I was to give my real opinion on this, I think he probably didn't have these inhibitions in the first place. I think he's writing it to make it seem like he had them. But it did take a while for him to get to the point where he murdered someone. How old is he when he finally murders this person?
32.
Okay, it did take quite a while. So, yeah.
And he sought help twice.
He did. That's also a fact.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to say that he actually probably did have those inhibitions then. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Daddy Dearest stepped in again and got one of the best lawyers in Paris to represent him.
Oh God, how do you defend that?
So Sagawa was held in a French prison while he waited for his trial. The trial never happened because French psychiatrists deemed him legally insane and unfit to stand trial.
Okay, I mean, fair.
He was later diagnosed with a personality disorder, so...
Not insane?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So, France deemed him legally insane and unfit to stand trial. So, Judge Jean-Louis Bruguière, Bruguière.
Insert a little sorry after every time you say something French.
Sorry. To just make it more Canadian. Then ordered that he would be held indefinitely at a psychiatric institution.
Okay.
So while he was institutionalized, an author by the name of Inuhiko Yamoda visited him, and together they wrote the book In the Fog. The book is a fictional story about a man who murdered a woman, raped her, and then ate pieces of her flesh. As is obvious, many believe this is a book that is the true account of Renee's murder. Because, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Good read.
Yeah. So the Hartevelt family and his own family did not want him to publish the book, but he did anyways, and it became a bestseller in France and Japan.
Oh, God.
The book had made him a controversial celebrity in both countries.
Oh, why? Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a thing that happened. That's all I know. It's a thing that happened.
The same thing, like you people listening to this? Is this a true crime kind of interest?
I think it's weirder than that.
Okay.
I'll get into it. So in 1985, while he's still at the psychiatric institution, the crime scene photos for Renee's murder were leaked and then published in a popular French magazine. The outrage caused one reporter to be arrested for publishing the photos, and more than 200,000 copies of the magazine were seized by police.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sagawa stayed at the institution until 1984, when his lawyer convinced the French government that it would be better for him to receive treatment in a Japanese facility, and he was sent back to Japan.
But he's still institutionalized in Japan?
So yeah, when he arrived in Japan, he was sent to the Matsuzawa Hospital in Tokyo for evaluation and treatment. Japanese psychiatrists deemed him not legally insane and that he was fit to stand trial. They also diagnosed him with a personality disorder.
That's how that works. Once you're no longer insane, you're back to standing trial.
Apparently.
Okay.
It's a new country, new rules.
Okay.
France is going to do some different shit than Japan and vice versa. So despite this, Japanese authorities were unable to prosecute him because all the court documents pertaining to his case in France had been sealed and because the charges were dropped.
What?
So they had no access to any of the case files for the crime in France, so they had nothing to prosecute him with.
Well, I thought if the charges...
He was deemed insane, so there were no charges because he wasn't criminally charged.
Then how's he being charged now if there were no charges?
He's not. They wanted to, but because they didn't have access to those files, they were not able to.
Yeah, but also, even if they had access to the files, I mean, if the charges were dropped, you can't bring the same charges up again, I thought.
In France.
But
it's a new country.
So
it's
just
his.
the Japanese government is charging him?
Yeah.
For crimes he committed in France?
Yeah, but he's still a Japanese citizen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Either way, he spent 15 months in the hospital before being released into the care of his parents on August 12th, 1986.
Oh, God.
And has been free ever since.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Due to his weak constitution, he was unable to retain normal employment, but made money off of his books and celebrity. So, based on his fame.
Okay, you're going to have to go to that other line. I'm looking at a lower line there. Seriously?
You shouldn't be reading ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I normally don't, but I caught you being who I am. I caught a certain word there, and now I'm just like, what?
I know exactly what words you caught. Okay, let me get to it. Between 1986 and 1997, he was regularly asked to be a guest speaker and commentator on shows. He even starred in a softcore porn film in 1992 where
I'm gonna
he
vomit
pretended
in my mouth
to cannibalize a woman. I saw the photos. It was crazy. He's published several novels, illustrated manga, and edited an anthology about cannibalism fantasies. He even wrote a weekly column in a Japanese tabloid magazine. Sagawa has also written restaurant reviews for a Japanese magazine and has appeared on cooking shows where he was shown eating raw meat.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
these shows are just like, that's shameless. Who the fuck does that?
I know.
Let's get someone who actually ate someone to eat raw meat on our show. God damn it.
I know, right?
Oh.
He published over 20 books.
Oh.
I know.
This is really putting a downer on this. So dude's alive and actually making money.
He gets some karma.
Okay, but he's actually making money off of his heinous crime.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, that is nauseating.
I know. So his notoriety had an impact on his family, obviously. His younger brother's asthma got worse due to stress. His father had to resign his high-paying job, and his mother even tried to kill herself.
Okay. I would just try and kill him first.
Well, it's your child. You're going to kill your child?
Yep. If that's going on, I'm lopping that baby's head right off.
You are not going to do any such thing. We will visit their asses in prison or, do something like that.
If we have a baby that grows up to eat a person, goes to jail, and then comes out and starts starring in pornos and...
he didn't go to jail. He went to a psychiatric.
Sorry, goes to a psychiatric ward, comes out and starts making millions off of his heinous crime. Oh, yeah. I'm ending this thing now. I brought you into this world and I'm goddamn taking you out.
And then you'll go to prison for murder, but...
But then I'll just star in some pornos and it'll all be fine.
Apparently. So as his fame eventually decreased, he started selling his paintings to support himself, and many were of naked women, obviously. Sagawa's parents died in 2005. He repaid their creditors, but wasn't allowed to go to their funeral.
Oh, so there's some serious division in the family.
Oh, he's been disowned by most of his family. I think only his brother still visits him.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It looks like he's making his own money at this point.
Once his parents die, then it's a little different.
How about you stop dropping spoilers and just keep going?
So when they passed, he went into public housing, and Sagawa had to receive welfare benefits for a time, and in a 2011 interview with Vice, he claimed that he was forced to make a living based on his crime and cannibalistic desires. He felt it was a terrible punishment only being able to make money this way.
Yeah, that's the terrible punishment.
Well,
Poor baby.
yeah, because I think the other part that I read is that he doesn't, like, he had a hard time distinguishing who he was because all he could do was that, that sick, like, shit, like, for media. So despite this, he also claims that he wants to eat human flesh one more time before he dies.
Oh, of course. Yeah, he's just riddled with remorse. Totally.
I know.
Gotta get me some more of that.
He says he'll never act upon it, but can't help but see beautiful women and, quote, wonder what she might taste like. Sagawa also claims that his desire to eat Renee would have been satisfied if she let him drink her urine or eat her pubic hair.
Ugh.
No! God, please, no! No!
Right. That's what I said.
So back to what I was saying. Blech.
Yeah. He has also stated that he would like to die at the hands of a beautiful woman. Quote, this one's going to be kind of gross. So just don't listen for the next 10 seconds.
I hope he gets taken out by the biggest, sweatiest, nastiest dude. Just choked out by a really buff, sweaty dude.
We'll get there when we get there. He says, quote, to drown in female saliva, wouldn't it be wonderful to be covered all over in women's spit? If I could die drowning in it, that would be my dream come true.
God.
I'm a cowardly man who killed another person, yet I can't face killing myself, so I guess dying at the hands of a woman would be my way to redemption.
No, wouldn't you just living another fetish, you little fuck?
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, no, that's not like some noble self-sacrifice.
Your redemption would be to do something for her family as repentance. So today he lives in Tokyo under a new name and is cared for by his brother. In 2013, Sagawa suffered from a stroke via a cerebral hemorrhage, which paralyzed his entire left side of his body. He also suffers from chronic diabetes and retinopathy from the diabetes, and has lost the inability to swallow.
Right, so he's a bit of a mess.
Apparently he also had 2 heart attacks as well. He had to have a gastrostomy, which is a tube that they insert into your stomach where they put the food in. Our friend's daughter has that. Yeah. So they stick the food in.
It's a gastro tube, yeah.
Yeah. In order to feed him. So since the procedure, Sagawa can't eat anything through his mouth. His brother visits him every other day, but has been disowned by most of his family, like I said.
Ugh.
Although being physically disabled, he is still mentally alert and enjoys watching DVD recordings of daily sumo broadcasts and TV dramas. His brother says he still looks at the female actors and keeps pictures of them, of his favorites. He's currently 73 years old and has had several documentaries done on his story, with the most recent being the one called Cannibal that was released in 2018. Sagawa has never reached out or apologized to the hard-to-felt family.
Because he's not sorry. I can tell he's not sorry.
No, he's not sorry.
No.
So long story short, some small dude in Japan ate an innocent lady because he's a massive weirdo and became a celebrity, which is the weirdest part of this whole fucking story.
Yeah. I don't know. The fact that he starred in some pornos afterwards is, I think that's the worst part.
I won't show you the pictures.
Thank you. I prefer to sleep tonight.
Well, I only saw a picture of the cover because it was in the article that I was reading for this.
I was fucked.
But it was an interesting one for our year 1 anniversary.
Yeah, interesting. That's the word we're going to use to describe it. Okay.
So thanks for listening to our podcast.
Thanks for listening to me throw open my mouth 4 times.
Probably a little bit more, but yeah. Check us out on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And got a case you want us to cover? Email us at bondingovermurder@gmail.com.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at Bonding Over Murder Podcasts for updates and new episode info.
I'm keeping that.
Oh, good.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.